Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another video. So in this video, a little bit different angle, a little different setup, just sort of different in general. But anyways, today we're going to be talking about Apple's VR headset, well, really a VR AR mixed reality headset. And it's called Apple Vision Pro. And, well, for $3,500, let's just get right into it. Okay, yeah, so it's stupid expensive. But here's what you guys have to realize. It is a first generation product, which means every piece of tech first generation is going to be more expensive. As it goes on, as the tech progresses, as the years go on, it will get cheaper. Apple is rumored to make a cheaper version of the VR headset in 2025, so we're just gonna sort of have to hold on until then. But for now, let's sort of get into it, and let me share a couple things that I like about it and that I don't like, and whether or not you should buy it. Now, first thing I want to mention, it is not coming out until, I believe it's Apple was saying early next year, as in the beginning of 2024, as of when I'm recording this video. So, however, the reason they're doing that is because they want to give other app developers and other developers time to develop apps and different games and things for Vision OS. And so that's why they're not going to actually, they've announced it just a couple weeks ago, but they're not actually going to release it until the beginning of 2024. So just a little heads up, it's going to be a little while before it's out. But anyways, here's a couple things that I do actually like about it. Alright, so one of the first cool things that I saw sort of Apple demo on their introduction is if you were to take for example, you have the VR headset and you have a MacBook. Well, you open your MacBook, and there will be an option to actually mirror what the MacBook has on its display, but in the actual augmented reality version. And so it'll be like a huge sort of display floating over your MacBook, and so it'll be easier to see and look at, and it's part of that sort of Apple tied in kind of ecosystem is the word that I'm trying to look for. But it's like an ecosystem, and it's really cool. I genuinely want to experience this and see how it looks. But I mean, it's cool. Like, you can do that with Apple products. Like, just look at them, it'll screen mirror, and then boom, you got like a much bigger, better screen to work with. All right, so the next thing is FaceTime calls, and I have sort of a positive and negative with FaceTime calls here. So what I love about the FaceTime calls is you can still make a FaceTime call. Now, I'm sure you're probably wondering, like, how do you make a FaceTime call if like it's a VR headset, like it's on your head, like how do you make a FaceTime call? Well, basically, I mean, obviously, like, you can see every other person just how you normally would. It's got cameras and microphones, so you can see them. Now, the way it sees you is when you're like setting up the headset, you will actually hold it like in front of your head, and it will take sort of a 3D scan of your entire face and implement that sort of into the FaceTime call. And so when you're FaceTiming someone, it is going to create an almost real, like, you can tell it's fake, but an almost real version of yourself to FaceTime with. So, I mean, that's cool. Yeah, it's really cool tech the way it's going. Now, let me talk about a couple things that I do not like, and including this sort of FaceTime thing, which I do not like either. Alright, so let's start with the FaceTime here. So something I'm not a huge fan of is because it's sort of digital and it's not real. That obviously means that, like, when you're calling someone, you're like, it's not gonna be real. Like, it's not like when you FaceTime someone, you FaceTime them because you get to see their actual face and you get to talk to them, and it's like talking to them in real life, except it's over the phone. Now, the problem with this, which I have, is since it's making a digital version of yourself, you're no longer FaceTiming. You can see them just fine, but when they're watching you, it's like it's digital and it's not necessarily like real, I guess you could say. And so it sort of ruins that feeling of FaceTime. And the other thing I'm not a huge fan of is the price. Now, again, right now it is starting at $3,499, or to round up, $3,500. Now, that is dumb expensive, like that crazy, like that's super expensive. And like I said earlier, like, it will eventually get cheaper. Like, as the tech moves on, as tech gets better, like, it's going to get cheaper. But as a first generation product that's like this, like, it is expensive and not a lot of people are going to buy it. It is not made for the mass right now. Now, do I think it will become a lot more mass produced, mass used later on? Most likely in 10 years time, 15 years time, this will be the new thing that everyone does, you know? All right. And so for our conclusion, I sort of want to talk like, should you buy this headset? One word, no, not right now. It's $3,500. Um, First generation hardware and software, first generation everything. And so that typically means that it's not going to work out very well. Now give it 6 months to a year. If you can find one cheaper, then I mean, sure, go ahead. But right now, while it's brand new, nobody really knows how to get their apps to work with it properly, things like that. Like, not yet, but you can, like, it'll be a lot more accessible to buy in 6 months to a year time. But yeah, that's really about it. Bye, guys.